Thank you, Ken. Veterans, distinguished guests, family, friends, Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day.
Let's try that again. Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Mr. Mayor, I was talking with Teresa over there. I obviously picked the right seat because I wasn't having to move that brick around. So thank you very much for that. Once again, I am Major General Ken Nava. I'm the 44th Adjutant General of the New Mexico National Guard. It's my honor to be part of this very fitting Veterans Day celebration. And that's exactly what it is. A celebration of the men and women who have, who are, and who will serve in the armed forces of the United States of America to protect the freedoms that we all enjoy. Today I've been asked to speak a little bit about my cousin, Francis Xavier Nava, also known as Pancho. Who was Pancho? Let's start out with some of the basics. Corporal Nava, 212-9225, MOS 0311, rifleman. There you go, where are those 03s at? I know you guys are out there. Pancho was born and raised in Santa Fe, New Mexico. He was a Christmas baby, born on Christmas Day, 1946. He was the eldest son of Stanley and Rose Nava. He had a younger brother, Raymond. The Navas lived at 742 Baca Street. They attended church at St. Anne's. Pancho was a very likable young man. He was in the Civil Air Patrol. He attended Santa Fe High School. Where's my demons out? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to say Mike or so. Okay. There we go. Pancho was short of stature. He was short. My Aunt Therese thinks he was about 5'4". One of her memories of him was that he always wanted to be a state policeman or serve in the military, but state policeman is what he wanted to do. There are plenty of Navas that served in law enforcement, and poor Pancho, he tried everything he could do to stretch himself out. She remembers him hanging upside down, doing everything he could, trying to get those extra 4 inches that he needed. Well, he couldn't grow another 4 inches, so his backup plan was to serve in the military. And that wasn't much of a leap either. All of his uncles, except Father Frank Nava, served in the military. His dad, my Uncle Stanley, served in the Army. His mom, my Aunt Rose, served in the Marines. He worked at the movie theater, and he'd sneak his cousins in to see the movies for free. My dad, Ralph Nava, sitting over there, he remembers the elaborate electric trains that he had. The train set was so big they had to move all the furniture out of the living room to set it up. My dad also recalls the uncles sending all the kids to the other room so they could play with the train. 18-year-old Pancho was the first Santa Fe recruit to join the Marines in their newly rolled out 120-day delayed entry program. He enlisted in February of 1965. Enlisting in this program allowed him to finish his high school education, guaranteed his training dates, made him exempt from the draft, and started accumulating time for pay, promotions, as well as time towards his service obligation. He was the first from Santa Fe to enlist in that program. When Pancho finished his initial military training, he stopped by my Grandpa Nava and Grandma Nava's house. My grandpa, Eleuterio, was a very well-decorated World War II veteran, officer in the National Guard, and commander of the local VFW post. Pancho told my grandpa, "I don't know if I should salute you or hug you." My grandpa's answer was for him to give him a hug. Pancho was a gentle person, and everyone loved him. He was very proud to be a Marine. It's funny what things we remember. My Aunt Therese, again, when I was asking her about him, she remembered him telling her how the Marines would do corrective training, making him do wall squats and hold the rifle out in front of his body. My dad remembers how strong Pancho was. My dad's family lived on Spruce Street. Anybody know where Casa Solana is? Those big old hills? Well, my dad remembers Pancho riding up the hill with my dad as a passenger, no problem. Most kids couldn't even ride up the hill in one shot without getting off and having to walk. About 4 years ago, reporter Robert Knott from the Santa Fe New Mexican did a great story about Nava Elementary School. He interviewed my cousin Raymond as well as others for the story. I'll share a small excerpt from Robert's article. Raymond Nava prepares to remember visiting a family ranch in Rio Riba County with his brother, who was home for leave before heading to Vietnam. His brother said nothing about going to war. Instead, he turned to Raymond and said, "You better take care of Mom and Dad." Today, that exchange made Raymond Nava laugh. What could I do to take care of him? I was 13 years old. Arriving in Vietnam in fall of 1965, Pancho was assigned to Gulf Company, 2nd Battalion, 4th Marine Regiment, 3rd Marine Division. He was injured in combat in May of 1966. That's when he received his first Purple Heart. Pancho would return to duty to do his job. On September 10th, 1966, he died of gunshot wounds to the body from rifle fire when Gulf Company engaged hostile forces in the vicinity of An Dinh, 2 kilometers northeast of Con Tien. He was days from completing his 1-year tour of duty in Vietnam when he was killed. He was the first person from Santa Fe killed in Vietnam. My cousin Raymond was next door at a neighbor's house when the casualty notification team arrived at the house. It was horrible news. Marine Lance Corporal Francis Xavier Nava had been killed trying to help a wounded buddy in Vietnam the day before. At just 19 years old, Pancho was the first Santa Fe resident to die in the Vietnam War. Raymond recalls that my Uncle Stanley could not bear to tell my Aunt Rose the news. She was at work. He had to go get a priest from St. Anne's to help him break the news. Pancho's death was very traumatic to the entire family. Everyone was impacted. My Grandpa Nava enlisted the help of the Adjutant General at the time, Major General Jolly, to help influence the effort to get Nava School named for Pancho. The Santa Fe New Mexican reported in the October 16, 1968 edition that the board unanimously voted to do just that. The school was dedicated to Nava in a public ceremony on May 25, 1969, and then opened the following August. The entire family, including his mom and dad and his brother Raymond, all of us, were very proud of Nava Elementary School being named for him. I can tell you that one of the very best Veterans Day ceremonies I have ever attended was with the students, teachers, and staff at Nava Elementary School. They do an incredible job remembering him every year. And quite honestly, if I wasn't here talking to him about with you, I'd be there. Francis Xavier Nava, my cousin, the first person from Santa Fe killed in Vietnam, the first Marine to enlist in the delayed entry program from Santa Fe. He died 3 years before I was even born. He and the rest of the family have helped make me the soldier, son, father, and husband that I am today. Rest in peace, Pancho. Help me remember him today. Repeat his name after me. Corporal Francis Xavier Nava.
Corporal Francis Xavier Nava.
Pancho Nava.
Pancho Nava.
Thank you. Happy Veterans Day, everyone.